So happening today, the suspect accused of killing Charlie Kirk is set to be formally charged. He confessed in an online group chat hours before his arrest saying, quote, "Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this." The FBI now looking into that chat room.
People think we can just get in these group chats and immediately find out who's in them. And there are scores of people in this Discord chat room. But we have to effectuate legal process. We have to go out there with search warrants so that if prosecutors want to later use this evidence, it's not tainted by being illegally obtained. We, the FBI, are running the investigation pointedly on the Discord chat group. There are scores of individuals that are going to be spoken to.
Wow. So Fox News contributor and former assistant U.S. attorney Andy McCarthy joins us now. So obviously, Andy, the FBI director was going through the legal process so that his evidence doesn't get thrown out of court. But I want to talk more about the legal standard for all of these group chats. Who can be prosecuted if they knew something before, or is it has to do with if they helped him out with the actual act?
Yeah, well, generally speaking, Lawrence, you have to have some evidence of participation or agreement in a scheme in order to be liable for it. It's looking at these particular chats, it looks to me like, to the extent these are relevant, and maybe there are other ones we haven't heard of yet. This is kind of after the fact where the guy admits to the crime,
right,
and says, in fact, that he's made arrangements to surrender. So it would be surprising to me if you looked at those people who were in the chats as potential criminal defendants. I would be looking at them as witnesses that might help me in terms of proving up what this guy's state of mind was in the days leading up to the murder.
So, Andy, just to clarify, to make it crystal for our audience, there's no duty to report if you know that a suspect may have hinted that they're getting ready to commit an assassination?
There are certain circumstances, Lawrence, in which if you have if you've gotten information which is sufficiently clear, there is law that stands for the proposition that people have an obligation to go to the police. But I don't think we're anywhere near that in what we've seen so far.
Roger that. What's going to happen at this court appearance today? He's going to find out his charges, obviously, but will he put in a plea?
Usually in a first appearance, you do not put in a plea. It's usually called a presentment, where basically what happens is the state has to show to the court that there's probable cause to hold the person over for trial. And then later, there'll be a formal charging document, and it's as to that a plea will be entered. Now, as I understand it, in Utah, they don't use the grand jury very often.
Right.
Most charges in Utah are actually made by the prosecutor in what's known as a criminal information. And if they file a criminal information today, there could very well be a plea. I assume a plea of not guilty would be entered as we go forward. And then there's also a 60-day period where they'll have, once they file the charges, to determine whether it's going to be a death penalty case or not. So there's a lot of moving parts at the moment.
Roger that. Let's switch gears. I want to talk about Ryan Routh because the trial is going to continue today. But inside of the car, they found a treasure trove full of evidence: Hawaii driver's license, U.S. passport, flights to Mexico and Colombia, bank statement, cartridges from a .45 caliber. There's a lot in there. And he even talks about the Great American Gun Show, essentially saying that he purchased the weapon from a gun show and that he didn't file off the serial number because that is one of the federal charges there. That's illegal.
Yeah, well, the rules of evidence are geared toward admitting evidence that appears to be relevant. And as you've described it, obviously a lot of that stuff may be very pertinent to the charges in that case. So I would assume that information is going to come in for the most part. To the extent that there are any grounds to suppress it, this is part of the problem for Routh in terms of representing himself when he's not really a lawyer and probably doesn't know Fourth Amendment law. But, look, he wanted to represent himself. That's his problem.
Yeah, and most of the stuff, if you wanted to suppress it, that's actually before the trial actually starts. But again, he doesn't know the legal procedures to do that. Andy, thank you so much for joining the program this morning.
Thank you, Lawrence.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.